Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or a coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Sagittarius, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at the overall energy of this reading through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. But first, let's look at the overall theme. Overall theme of this reading. What are we going to be talking about today, Sagittarius? Lucky. Karmic path. Oh. Earth and power. Okay. So if I were to just kind of sum up this energy, I feel like your luck is shifting. It's starting to change. I feel like with this karmic path card, you've been on some sort of path that has been difficult, to say the least. I feel like you've been on this path for a while. And one of the things that I'm kind of gathering through this card here is if you see there's this line and then you have, underneath this line and then it builds up from there. A lot of times what we don't realize is when we're building a path or building something for ourselves or on a growth journey or a manifestation journey or whatever the case is, a lot of the times we're putting in all of this work and all of this effort and we're doing the healing and we're, showing up, and it feels like nothing is happening. It feels like everything is just staying the same, like nothing is progressing. But what we don't realize is that through the work that we're putting in, the effort that we are putting in, we are creating a foundation. It's kind of like how these enormous skyscrapers are built. A lot of the work happens underground to make sure that it's deeply rooted in the, in the ground. And I don't know a whole lot about architecture, but I do know that, when it comes to these big buildings, the big thing is, a very important thing is the foundation that happens below the surface. So there's all of this time that takes that's spent on building the foundation, and then the rest of the skyscraper is actually pretty easy to build once that's done, from my understanding. But what I'm getting at with this is it's almost like when we're putting in a lot of work and a lot of effort and we're not seeing the results of that, it's really easy to want to give up. It's really easy to want to throw in the towel. It's really easy to say this isn't worth it. But the more that we keep building on that foundation, the more that it becomes easier to see the progress, as we eventually get to this line here, because then it's the red, and then it's just this wonderful thing that starts to build from there. So I feel I do feel like things are changing. Like I said, luck is kind of changing here, maybe tables turning in some way. Especially if there's been, with this karmic path card, some sort of karmic imbalance in your life. I'm not quite sure, but let's see what we've got here. We're going to start with looking at what you guys have been dealing with in your recent past. And it's the luck is changing. It's actually not. Have you ever heard that saying? It's the harder you work, the more luck you seem to have. And I'm not super into the whole grind culture thing, but I do really feel what we don't realize is when we're putting in the work, eventually things do shift in our favor. When we're showing up with integrity, when we're showing up with intention, eventually things do shift. So let's look at this recent past here for you, Sagittarius. A time to give rather than take. So a lot of investment. Putting in a lot of energy, but not seeing the payoff. And I think that, okay. Okay. I'll take them all. just because I kind of understand where this is going. You have worked through your fears, meditate and contemplate. Your commitment is being tested. It's time to release negativity, and your hard work is paying off. And I feel like if we're looking at this from a bigger picture perspective, because obviously we're going to dive deeper into the story, as we progress. So things might sound a little vague in the beginning, but when we're showing up for the life that we deserve, the love that we deserve, whatever it means, whether we're setting boundaries or we're taking risks or whatever the case is, there is a period of time where it really truly feels like it is not worth it. Like nothing is happening, nothing is paying off. You're not seeing any kind of progress in any other direction. So then you start to go, well, maybe things were better before. Maybe things were better in my comfort zone. Maybe things were better when I wasn't trying to create better for myself. And we start to think that because we allow that fear that we're not going to get to where we're going, or that the things that we desire aren't going to happen for us. We start to allow that fear to dictate our decisions. And I feel like that's what this period has been about, is we don't realize, I often talk about manifestation as a journey, and how a lot of times it can make it look like it happens overnight, because so much of manifestation is about the shifting within, shifting beliefs, and shifting the way that you speak about your reality, the way that the things that you believe about yourself, the way that you see yourself. And if you've been doing that inner work, eventually the outer progress is going to take place. Your hard work is not going in vain, and I do very much feel like you're going to start to see things shift for the better in this energy. So let's see what we've got for you here in your current energy, Sagittarius. Take time to breathe out. Don't let pride get in your way. With the answers you need are coming. Creating the things that we desire and deserve in a sustainable way is about learning to let go and go with the ebbs and flows of life. Things aren't always progressing. They're not going to always be progressing all the time. They're not always going to feel as if you're moving forward, or as if things are happening for you all of the time. And in fact, the periods where you're facing obstacles and you're facing challenges and you're facing setbacks and you feel like you're taking steps back, those periods are just as important to the journey and to getting you to where you are or where you're trying to go, as the times of progress are. Because in those moments, that's where you're being given this opportunity to choose to believe that you can get there, that you're supported, that you're guided, that you're capable, that you're worthy, that you're deserving. And each and every moment that we shift our energy in the direction of, I choose to believe that I can get there, I choose to believe I can make it happen, I choose to believe that the life that I deserve is meant for me, the more that we do create it. But it doesn't just happen, because it's easy to feel good about the path when the things are going well. It's easy to feel motivated and excited when you're seeing that progress. When you're not, when things are stagnant, when things feel like they're not moving at all, that's where you are really being, I don't like the concept that the universe tests us, because that's not really, I don't believe that that's the case. I believe we face our fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs in real time, and the universe is supporting us and sitting there going, come on, you can do this, But those obstacles and challenges give us the opportunity to be the person we say that we are, and to show up for the life that we desire and deserve before it exists, because showing up before it exists is how you create it. So right now, if you're facing stagnancy, obstacles, challenges, setbacks, I feel like it's important for you to know that you are still making progress. It's just in a different way. It's not in the outer way. It's in the, what's going on within you. So what does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? A new start is coming. Emotions are running high, and show the world the real you here. And then on the back, you're very close to achieving your goal. So I feel like you're closer to the progress or to the outcome or to whatever it is than you even think that you are. I don't want to downplay your challenges and say that they're not difficult and that you, just have faith and it's easy. Like, of course not. It's always easier to look at the energy than to be in the middle of the experience. But I do really feel like things are about to shift for the better for you here. But it's going to require you to not give up on the path, not give up on the journey, not give up on you, allowing yourself to continue to like essentially just, it's almost like you're proving to yourself. You're proving to yourself that you're capable, that you're worthy, that you're deserving, that you deserve good things. And a lot of what that might look like is like not settling for anything less, or not allowing yourself to throw in the towel when it comes to, raising your standards, or, being honest about what it is that you need or that you deserve. A lot of times when we are kind of choosing to believe that we're worthy and deserving of more, we face these periods of times where there's nothingness. Like I kind of said, when you raise your standards in relationships, you're going to lose people. And there'll be a period of time where you feel very alone because you've lost everyone that isn't capable of meeting you at the place that you are looking to be met. That period is so important, because that's where you're facing the fear, you're facing the doubt, you're facing the insecurity, and you're choosing to say, I'm not going back to less because I know I deserve more. And I feel like that's what this whole reading is about. But let's dive into this a little bit more. Sagittarius, let's look at this recent past. Your hard work is paying off with the time to give rather than take. Ooh. The Hierophant in reverse. It's a shift in perspective. The shift in perspective has to happen before the shift in reality, because right now there's this feeling of loss. Oh my goodness. Okay. The Five of Pentacles, the Death, the Hierophant in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles. When we're stuck in loss, and we're stuck in lack, and we're stuck in not having what it is that we need or what it is that we desire, it is so incredibly easy to get stuck in the mentality that says, I'm never going to have the things that I want. I'm never going to have the things that I deserve. I'm never going to have the things that I desire. But the second that we allow ourselves to slip into that mentality is the second that we start to create that reality. The life of your dreams is possible. The things that you deserve and desire are absolutely possible, like without a shadow of a doubt. Oh my goodness, okay. King of Swords in reverse, King of Cups in reverse. With the Sun, the life that you deserve and desire is absolutely possible for you. I feel like, and then I heard and then some, but it almost feels like you're so used to the lack that it's almost been like what you've been accepting for so long. But then it kind of feels like there's this energy of putting your foot down and saying no more. I'm not accepting less. Now, this kind of feels like an energy, especially with the King of Swords in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse, where not really being treated all that well, not being valued, not being, appropriately compensated, whatever the case might be. And I feel like with this Death card, it kind of feels like this is this energy of putting an end to that, being, basically being willing to say, I'm done with this energy. I'm done with accepting less than what I deserve. And this is a very powerful energy. It's shaky powerful, meaning that you maybe didn't feel powerful in the moment. You maybe didn't feel good or confident, or maybe you did, but I don't know. I kind of feel like this, it's like a shaky, powerful kind of energy, getting to this energy where you kind of are just like, something's got to give. Like, I can't keep doing this. And that's why I feel like you're starting to wonder, are these things that I desire, that I deserve, ever going to happen for me? Or am I ever going to get to where I'm trying to go? Am I ever going to experience more than this? Because again, if you're used to lack, if you're used to less, and you start asking for more from whatever, from your relationships, from your career, whatever the case is, you're going to face that fear that you can't have more, that kept you stuck in accepting less. And that fear is what has controlled your decisions to this point. So you're choosing to face it instead of to avoid it and allow it to control your decisions. And that's a very beautiful, very powerful energy. It's also not easy. So understand that, again, you're building this foundation of creating more for yourself by starting the process of believing that you can have it, believing that you're worthy, believing that you're deserving. Like I said, I feel like this has been a pretty difficult path, but I feel like you're breaking out of some old cycles here. So let's see what Sagittarius has for their current energy. Don't let pride get in your way. It's time to take time to breathe out. So feeling very unsecure right now. I feel like things feel very up in the air. There's like no predictability here. And that's kind of the point. You know, fear, we avoid our fear by choosing paths that align with what is predictable, with what's controllable, with what we know is certain, essentially. And I think that you've done that in the past. And I think that it's led you to this Ten of Swords over and over again. It's led you to, I can't figure out if that's in reverse or not. I think it's right side up. It's almost like you're working through it. But it's led you to this Ten of Swords, to just things not working out, failed relationships, moments of failure, whatever the case is. And it's almost like, because the universe will never allow you to settle where you're not meant to settle. The universe will always move you toward better things. But we have to be willing to surrender to the path and to the journey of getting there. And I feel like this is almost like a period of really reconnecting with yourself, especially when, we think that all we can have is less. We disconnect ourselves from our desires and from our needs because we're so used to the survival. We're so used to just getting by. We're so used to just, just doing what we have to in order to feel okay. But that, I feel like hasn't led you to where you want to be. So it's almost like the universe is pushing you to change your approach to your life in a way, or maybe to a situation, or I don't necessarily know the specifics of it, but I'm not really supposed to. But goodness sakes, Sagittarius, this has been a really painful experience because I feel like, because again, King of Cups, King of Swords in reverse, which again just kind of gives this energy of not being treated well, like not being in places where you belong because you deserve to be in much better, much safer places. And I think that what you don't realize is that, you're in the middle of breaking out of the cycle that kept you stuck in those places. Because we accept less, or we attract less than what we deserve when we don't believe we are capable of having what it is that we ultimately desire. Now, that's not necessarily your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault that you've attracted, difficulties into your life, or that you've attracted the situations that you've had. We learn to believe what we're worthy and deserving of based on what we've experienced. So if we've experienced a lot less than what it is we really desire and deserve, we're going to believe this is all that I can have. And it's not your fault, because your trauma is not your fault. But when we want to create better for ourselves, we do have to take responsibility. We have to take responsibility and accountability for our limiting beliefs and for the decisions that we make from a place of not believing that we're worthy and deserving of better. And I don't mean this in the sense of like obviously you're worthy and deserving of better, right? But there might be a part of you, because 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious. There might be this part of you that is driving your decisions that says, sure, maybe I do deserve more, but I don't believe I can have it. I don't believe it exists. I don't believe that it's possible for me. I'm too old, or I've failed too much, or I've messed up too many times. Like, that is not a truth. That's merely that part of you that is trying to keep you stuck in the same places. And I think that this is about facing that part of you and learning to allow yourself to believe that you're worthy and deserving of more, despite the fact that you don't fully believe it. And that's what, creating the life of your dreams is all about. And I said this in the very beginning of the reading. It's about showing up for it before you actually create it, before it actually exists. There's periods of times where things are going to feel so uncertain. You're going to feel so insecure. You're going to struggle to believe that things are ever going to work out. And those periods of time are when your limiting beliefs are showing up the most and the loudest, and your fear has, so much control over you in those moments. But you don't have to allow it to have control over you. You can choose to say, no, I know that I'm deserving of more. I know that, this is not where I belong. I know that the universe is always supporting me to my highest good, or at least I really, really want to believe that. So I'm going to show up as if that's the case. It's almost like realizing that settling doesn't work, that accepting less than what you deserve doesn't bring you to your desires. And so kind of leaving that behavior in the past so that you can show up in the energy of believing you deserve better. What does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? You're very close to achieving your goal with a new start is coming. It kind of feels like, I already said this, but like a switch that happens in your reality. It's like, again, you've been building this foundation, and then all of a sudden it's like you're able to throw up the skyscraper because the foundation work has been done. You've been putting in the work, you've been putting in the effort, and so you can build pretty easily once you have a solid foundation. What does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? The Emperor. This is very powerful. The Two of Swords. Oh, crossroads. The Justice or the Injustice. I didn't mean to say injustice. I meant to say justice in reverse. But this is the karmic balance. Okay, so what is this trying to say? It's interesting that I said injustice. It's like you've been dealing with a lot of injustice, maybe. There's 7 of Wands. Okay. Yeah, this is, okay. So, the reason that I never talk about specifically, like, this is exactly what's going to happen in your future is because, first of all, I'm speaking to a collective of over 60,000 people. And second of all, there's so many factors that play a role in our future. And just hearing what we want to hear about our future can help us in the moment, but it doesn't actually give us any power. Because the truth is that you have the ability to create the life that you deserve and desire. You have the ability to create the love that you desire. You have the ability to create the abundance that you desire, the financial freedom you desire, the peace you desire, whatever it is. You have that power and you have that ability. And to be honest with you, Sagittarius, it feels like this energy is about stepping into reclaiming that power. Because I feel like you've been through a lot of things in this life that have taken that power, that have made you believe, that have tricked you into believing that you are powerless, that you don't have the power, that you don't have the ability to create the things that you deserve and desire. Therefore, you need to accept less. You need to put up with mistreatment. You need to allow yourself to be undervalued, whatever the case is. But in taking this power back, you're basically saying, I know what I'm worth and I know that what I deserve. And if you don't see that, or if this doesn't see that, or if this doesn't treat me like that, then this is not about me proving my worth or proving my value or trying to do everything I can so that it changes. It's about me surrendering, letting go, walking away when necessary, not accepting less so that I can reclaim what is mine, what I truly deserve. But that has to be your choice. That has to be your decision. This isn't just about the things that you deserve and desire just happening for you. This isn't about the life that you want just falling onto your doorstep. That's not what manifestation is. Manifestation is not about thinking and praying and hoping for the best. Manifestation is about embodiment. It's about showing up for the things that you deserve and desire, especially in those moments where it feels like it's not happening. Because that's where you create it. You create it in the moments where it feels like it's not happening because you change the energy. If you believe the energy that says it's not happening, I can't get there, I'm not enough, I'm never going to be where I want to be, and you embody that energy, you're going to create that reality. That's why you have the Two of Swords. It's your choice. And I think that that's where you're needing to understand you have more power than you think you do. It's just not over what has happened to you. It's not over the situations outside of you. It's not over the person that won't treat you well or this situation or that situation. That's not where your power lies. It's about letting things be where they're at and figuring out what's within your power and your control to change yourself, to change the way that you show up, to change the patterns and the behaviors that you have. Because when you focus on what's in your control and what's in your power, you create miracles. And I feel like that's what this shift is. I feel like this shift is about you stepping into your power, and your luck, quote unquote, changes. The tables turn because the energy that you're putting out is different. The energy that you're embodying is different. So it's been a path, it's been a journey, it's been a process. And I think that, this is about understanding that it's like reclaiming what is yours. That's what it feels like, reclaiming what is yours. And it's not about something outside of yourself. It's about what's within you, reclaiming your confidence, reclaiming your faith, reclaiming your power in a way that's been taken from you through a lot of situations that have been incredibly unfair. And I think that that's why it's like you're turning the injustice into justice, but not because a lot of times we think, oh, I want to get revenge on this person that hurt me. But the best revenge is a life well lived, because at that point you go, I don't care what happens to that person or what this person does or doesn't do, because I'm happy with my life exactly where I'm at. And I think that I've really learned in my own journey that the more that I can focus on creating a life that I love and that I feel happy to show up in every single day, what's going on around me doesn't matter. If that person that screwed me over 5 years ago doesn't apologize, it doesn't matter, because my life is unaffected because of that. And I think that that's where our power lies, is it's not in trying to get people to see our worth or see our value or to change or to apologize or to see that they hurt us or wrong us or whatever the case is. It's about accepting when somebody doesn't treat you according to your value and doing something about it, not in the sense of changing them, but in the sense of changing yourself. And when we do that, we reclaim what's ours. We take back our power, because we no longer say, oh, it's your fault that my life is this way. We say, what can I do about it? Yes, this has happened to me. Yes, this is a situation that I'm dealing with, but what can I do about it? And I like that energy, because it's very much about it's embodiment. That's where we create the life that we deserve and desire, is when we truly embody it. So we're going to hop on over to the extended, where we're going to look at what you can do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Sagittarius.